ask you something real quick. Have you ever found yourself standing in the middle of your living room, one sock on, coffee gone cold again, surrounded by a small Lego war zone, wondering, how did I get here? Like you are supposed to raise an entire human being, maybe even teach them, and also somehow remember what day of the week it is? If you can relate and you've got multiple little humans demanding snacks, love, and math help all at once, this episode is for you. And here is what I want you to know from the very beginning. Having multiple kids in your homeschooling environment is not a hurdle. It is actually the secret sauce. It may feel messy, it may stretch you, but it gives your children something powerful, a built-in community, real-time peer learning, leadership opportunities, emotional growth. What feels like your biggest challenge is actually your greatest gift. And before we go any further, grab your free guide, Juggling Activities with Multiple Kids. It's a short, actionable, and this guide will help you apply what we are diving in today. You'll find the link in the show notes below. Now, before we dive into the first shift in perspective, let me take you back for a second. When my little sister was born, I was thrilled. Not because I wanted to share my toys, which I didn't, but because I finally had a real human to play Let's Play School with. Of course, I was the teacher, always. Did we play school when she could barely sit up? Of course we did. Was she learning addition at 18 months? Probably not. But here's the funny thing. I wasn't teaching her for her sake. I was doing it for me. Because deep down, I knew something that Maria Montessori would later confirm. The best way to learn something is to teach it. And here is the twist I only understand now. My little sister was learning too, but in her way. She wasn't following my lesson plan at 18 months, but she was absorbing my energy, my words, my modeling. You see, that instinct I had, the desire to teach, lead, and share is baked into us. And when we are raising multiple kids, that instinct becomes a gift. As long as you remember to start with the youngest child first. And funny enough, this is exactly where we begin today. So, how do you homeschool multiple kids without losing your mind? Here is the first shift in perspective. The youngest sets the pace. I know it sounds like you're compromising, but in reality, you are creating a foundation. You see, when your youngest child is included, when the activity meets their developmental stage, the older child gets the opportunity to lead, to model, to master. When planning shared activities, you begin where your youngest children are. Not to hold the older ones back, but to allow them to rise as models and mentors. When a toddler is safely engaged in, let's say, pouring water, your older child may step in to help, guide, or deepen their own understanding and skill. It's not about doing the same thing. It's about creating shared space that serves everybody. That's not regression. That's refinement. And it's Montessori to the core. Here is the quote from The Absorbent Mind by Dr. Maria Montessori. The child learns everything without knowing he's learning it, treading always in a path of joy and love. Okay, so how do we do it practically? How can we thrive in a multi-age home? Simple. With open-ended materials that all kids can engage with. Think blocks, clay, puzzles, sensory bins, art trays, or nature walks. These invite children to engage at their own level independently or collaboratively. A toddler might stack cups while their older sibling might build a city. Same space, different outcomes. You see, this approach doesn't just make your life easier, it reflects how humans have always learned. For tens of thousands of years, children were raised in mixed age groups. They were not divided by birthday and stuck into the classroom. They grew up in tribes, watching, doing, helping. So let's say a 5-year-old taught a 3-year-old how to dig roots or make knots. You see, back then it wasn't called peer learning. The term multi-age would have sounded ridiculous to a hunter-gatherer mother. It was just life. And Dr. Suzanne Gaskins studied indigenous communities and found that children learned through immersion, not instruction. Kids were always around other kids, older and younger, and through observation, they developed autonomy, patience, and leadership. You see, we didn't evolve in isolation. We evolved in community. So when your toddler is underfoot and your 6-year-old is teaching them how to pour beans into a bowl, that's not chaos. That's ancestral learning. That's the model. And modern science backs it up. A study published in Early Childhood Research and Practice found that children in multi-age classrooms showed stronger social behavior and fewer discipline issues. Another study found that preschoolers, when exposed to older peers, developed more advanced vocabulary and comprehension skills. You see, research shows that mixed age grouping supports social emotional development, empathy, patience, leadership. It also improves language skills. Think richer vocabulary through modeling. And it creates a sense of responsibility because older children can lead and grow. And Maria Montessori wrote it in The Secret of Childhood. Open quote, "The child can only develop by means of experience in his environment. We call such experience work." End quote. So with multiple kids, you're not dividing yourself equally. You are meeting needs uniquely. That's the leadership, wisdom. That's love in motion. Now, what about when activities are not shared or when a child has unique needs? It's easy to feel guilty when you cannot give everyone the same time and attention. But here is the truth. You are not meant to divide yourself equally. You are meant to meet each child where they are. How? Use parallel engagement. For example, your 6-year-old is doing multiplication. Your toddler is very much not. And this is where parallel engagement is your best friend. You prepare something meaningful for the toddler, maybe pouring or stacking, right near where you are helping the older child. Both feel seen, included, regulated, and your big kid gets the connection they need from you without constant interruption. You're present for both without being pulled in half. And that's where confidence and independence grow. Now, let's bring this home, because while the philosophy and science are powerful, what you really need is something that works today between spills and snack requests. So, how do you support multiple children, each with different needs, without splitting yourself apart? So, here there are 7 things I have found to be absolutely game-changing when homeschooling multiple kids, especially if you want more flow and less frenzy. 1. Rotate your attention with purpose. You see, you don't need to teach all your children simultaneously. In fact, it works better when you don't. One-on-one time does not need to happen all the time. Take turns. breathe. While one child is engaging in hands-on activity they can manage independently, you give your full calm presence to another. It's not multitasking. It's mindful shifting. And it teaches each child patience and respect for others' time. 2. Prepare the environment to support independence. Think low shelves, simple trays, materials that are accessible to little hands. One of the most loving things you can do is to set up your environment that says yes, without constant supervision on your part. Think open-ended materials or taste-safe sensory bins. You see, a well-prepared space means fewer interruptions, more focus, and more freedom for you to support another child while one works nearby. The environment becomes the third teacher. 3. Follow rhythm, not a rigid schedule. Think flow, not clock. You see, children thrive on predictability, not pressure. But that does not mean your day has to run like a Swiss train station. Instead, create a rhythm your family can enjoy and thrive in. Maybe mornings are for literacy, math, and then nature. Midday for independent, focused work for older children, while your youngest one can nap or explore a sensory bin. And afternoons can be for connection and rest. You see, when there is a pattern, there is peace. 4. Lead with connection, not correction. This is a big one. If you are multitasking, come back to me. You see, your child will not remember every worksheet or letter sound, but they will remember how they felt around you. Your calm presence, your tone, your gentle correction, your goofy dance breaks. You see, connection shapes the emotional environment far more than any lecture ever will. If a child is struggling, start with reconnecting first. Sit beside them. Offer warmth before redirection. A connected child is a cooperative child, always. 5. Let siblings help and be each other's teachers. It's not a burden, it's a blessing, because it builds empathy, leadership, and self-worth. You see, when older children model skills or help younger ones, they are not being held back. Rather, they're stepping into leadership, reinforcing their own knowledge and building sibling bonds. And the younger ones, they often learn more by watching a sibling than by listening to a parent. And in a Montessori, this is peer learning at its best. And it has been happening since the dawn of time. This is the brilliance of the mixed-aged dynamic. 6. Ditch perfection, release the ideal, and embrace the real. You see, your home is not a Pinterest board. It's a living, breathing learning system. There'll be mess, there'll be noise, there'll be moments when you wonder if anyone is even learning. And yet, this is it. This is the magic. You see, learning does not require perfect plans. It requires presence, patience, and a willingness to adapt. Remember, progress, not perfection. And finally, 7, normalize the noise and narrate the learning. Not every moment will look quiet and focused, and that's okay. What matters is helping your children recognize the learning inside the mess. When you say out loud, wow, you really figured that out on your own. Or it looks like your brother is helping you carry your tray. What a great team. You are reinforcing connection, collaboration, and confidence. Your words become the mirror they see themselves through. And sometimes the most impactful teaching isn't in a lesson. It's how we talk about life as it happens. And because I know you're probably multitasking, I'm reminding you again, grab your free guide on juggling activities with multiple kids. It breaks down exactly how to implement what we're talking about with visuals and step-by-step prompts to make this real. Now, here is the most important part. You. This part requires a lot of love, and not just for your kids, for yourself. You see, you're not just managing schedules. You are shaping souls. So be gentle with your expectations. Some days will crush you. Other days, it's survival mode, but that is not failure. That's family. And you're not meant to give 100% to each child at every moment. That math simply doesn't work. But love isn't math. Love is presence. Love is intention, grace. Some days you'll feel like a homeschooling goddess. Other days you'll cry in a pantry. But both are part of life. And please don't do this alone. Share your journey. Lean into your community. Celebrate your wins, even the tiny ones. As Dr. Maria Montessori once said, education, it's a release of human potentialities. You are that path. So if today felt loud, messy, and overwhelming, pause. And if you have been seeing that multiple kids part of homeschooling as the hardest part, let's reframe it. It's not what's holding you back. It's actually what's setting you up for deeper learning, for sibling connection, for the kind of growth you cannot script, but you can absolutely trust. You are raising your children the way humans always have, together, across ages, with rhythm, relationship, and heart. This is the original classroom. And Montessori, she didn't just theorize this, she witnessed it. She built her method on this very truth, that the multi-age environment is not a side feature, it is the method. It's one of the most important, most powerful aspects of Montessori education, and yet it is one not many talk about. But now you know. And that changes everything. Because at the heart of it all is this truth. The child can only develop by means of experience in his environment. We call such experience work. Said Dr. Maria Montessori in The Secret of Childhood. So, the next time your toddler is melting down mid-lesson, take a breath. You are not doing it wrong. You are doing it real. All right, let's pull it all together. If you are walking away with just a few takeaways, these are the things I want you to remember. Tailor activities to the youngest child while finding ways to challenge older siblings. Use open-ended play to engage multiple age groups. Recognize and nurture each child's individual interests. Implement practical routines to ease daily transitions. And prioritize self-care and seek community support. And one last reminder, my sweet friend, go download your free guide, Juggling Activities with Multiple Kids. It's a gift from my heart to yours, and it will help you carry this episode into action. Until next time, stay grounded, stay playful, and remember, you're not just homeschooling, you are raising the future. I'll see you next time.